Hi everyone, my name is Chris Carmichael, and I'm going to talk a little bit about demand right now for an ag economics class. Uh, let's start out demand. What is demand? Well, demand is the quantities of a good that buyers are willing to purchase at a series of alternative prices in a given market during a given period of time. Demand is the overall relationship between quantities and prices. Now, the other that we will speak about are quantities demanded. What are quantities demanded, you ask? Well, quantities demanded is the amount of product that consumers are willing to purchase at a certain price. Now, we'll talk more about this as the lecture goes on. I just wanted to give you an idea of each and the difference in the two. So, now, quantities demanded. If the price of a good goes up, then the quantity demanded will go down. If the price of a good goes down, quantity demanded will go up. Now, notice I'm saying quantity demanded. There is a difference between quantity demanded and demand. So, as we look into the idea of demand, we must remember that demand and quantities demanded are different. They do relate to one another, but in fact are different. So remember, if we're talking about the direct relationship between price and a good, it's quantity demanded. Now, demand. Demand is the overall relationship between price and quantities demanded. When we talk about demand, we are usually discussing the entire demand curve. I will show examples of this in future slides. For now, I just simply wanted to illustrate the difference in the two. Now, the first example I have is the price of coffee per pound. Now, bear with me, if you know anything about coffee, you may say these numbers are outrageous. I don't know anything about coffee. I just needed to give an example. So, let's start out. The price of coffee starts at $1 a pound, okay? Your quantity demanded then, when it's at $1 a pound, is 25,000 pounds, okay? That's your starting point right there. Coffee's at $1. Quantity demanded from the consumers is at 25,000 pounds. Now, let's say it goes up to $2 a pound. Your quantity demanded is going to drop. As we talked about earlier, price goes up, quantity demand goes down. So it's at $2 a pound. Your quantity demanded by consumers is at 20,000 pounds. So it's dropped 5,000 pounds. Alright, let's say coffee increases to $3 a pound. Okay, again, your quantity demanded is going to go down. So your quantity demanded drops to 16,000 pounds. Okay, now, it only dropped 4,000 pounds that time. That's just me throwing a number out there. That's not actual numbers. We're just using this as an example, so bear with me. Now, so it's at $3 a pound. Quantity demanded is at 16,000 pounds. Okay? Coffee rises again. Goes up to another dollar to $4 a pound. Quantity demanded again, it drops. 12,000 pounds is now the quantity demanded by consumers. Alright, so now coffee hits an all-time high of $5 a pound. Well, coffee's never gotten up to $5 a pound. You know, there's very few people that want to buy coffee at $5 a pound. They think it's expensive. So your consumers have made the quantity demanded drop significantly down to 8,000 pounds. When coffee was at $1, things were good. Quantity demanded 25,000 pounds. Now, coffee hits an all-time high of $5 a pound. Your quantity demanded is 8,000 pounds. Now, this all relates with supply, which I'll talk about in a different video with different slides. But when you're looking at this here, you want to notice that $1 a pound is not necessarily the best of both worlds. You know, yeah, your quantity demanded is up at 25,000 pounds, but your producers who are producing the coffee are only getting $1 a pound. Now, somewhere your demand curve and your supply curve would connect and that's your equilibrium point. Now, where it is here, I don't know because I haven't done the supply curve. Now, with that said, let's move on to the next slide, and we come to the graphing. Now, the previous slide showed numbers just on the page written out. We started out at $1 a pound for coffee, and the quantity demanded was 25,000 pounds, so we have that mark on the bottom right of your screen. $1, 25,000 pounds. Well, price went up, which is on the left-hand side, vertical side. Price goes up to $2, well, your quantity demanded dropped to 20,000. Okay, and so forth. $3, it dropped down to 16,000. $4, it dropped down to 12,000. And $5, it dropped down to 8,000. So this here is your demand curve. Okay, that's the relationship between quantities demanded and demand. You've got your demand curve. This shows you the relationship between the price and the quantity demanded. Now, let's wrap it up and let's tie it all together. As I said in the previous slides, demand and quantities demanded are different, but very much related. In the example, I showed how price directly affects the quantities demanded by consumers. However, what the graph illustrated was the entire demand curve. It was that overall relationship between price and quantities demanded. That demand curve also comes into play when you're talking about supply. Now, in my next video, I will talk about supply, but I wanted to start us off with demand and how quantities demanded and price overall relate to demand and your demand curve. So, I hope you enjoyed this lecture and PowerPoint presentation. Please go ahead and look at my next video about supply.